Hello everyone, it's Finance City, and after a massive pump, Cardano seems to be having a huge sell-off. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about as well a pattern that I found in the Ethereum chart, and at the end, we're also going to talk about what Bitcoin is doing right now. So let me show you all three charts, and as always, because it seems to be your guys' favorite, let me know if you prefer another altcoin or something. I'm going to start with Cardano. So guys, as you can see, we were in a bit of a correction, and this was the cryptocurrency correction that we went through. It started right at the beginning of March, so approximately 2 weeks ago. And then we had kind of a breakout coming out, and we started going straight to the top. Well, on the Bitcoin and Ethereum chart, what we saw was a slow kind of rise up around this date. And over here, we had some big activity, and we hit some new all-time highs. Well, Cardano took a little bit longer and kept in its downward trend. However, news came out that Cardano was breaking out into Coinbase, and you were actually going to be able to buy Cardano on Coinbase. And we had here a huge bull flag forming, which actually manifested almost all the way up to its price target, which is great. However, now we have a huge dump down, and now is the moment to exit any trade you're in and just be cautious. Let me show you just how close we got to this bull flag target. I need to select the pole of the flag, and I'm going to go ahead and copy it, and then we're going to paste it right at the breakout. And let's see. Well, we got quite close. It was predicting 1.55, and we went to 1.5 all the way from 1.26. So this was still a huge price move up of approximately 18%. And that's a huge amount of move up. But as you can see, pretty much all of that has been lost right now. And there's been a huge correction, which is absolutely normal. Every time you have a giant fundamentals-based pump, you're going to see a huge spike in the graph. And usually what happens is it breaks back down rather violently and continues the previous trend that was forming, right? If you were to just flatten this spike down, you would just see that it continued something like this. And I predict that we're actually going to see that happening here, but instead of a continuation down, most likely we're going to see somewhat of a continuation towards the upside, because this is now a fundamentals-based pump, and now Cardano actually has a bunch of positive momentum going forward. But that said, guys, this is only on the short term. Let me show you what I found now on the long term. And this, guys, this is crazy. So if I go out all the way to the beginning of the graph, well, guys, what does this remind you of? If you've been following, you've seen the cup and handle patterns that I was showing you on Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is one of the best patterns in the world to trade. Well, let me show you and connect the dots here, and we're going to see together if we have kind of a cup and handle pattern forming. Now, I need to find the local bottom. I do believe it's around here, which gave a bottom of, wow, that's really, really low, 0.022, and you've since pumped all the way up to around 1.5, and now look, we've got here the cup. Well, do you guys see a handle? Because I do. So let's zoom in a little bit now and draw the handle here. So as you see, we had a handle forming right around here, thanks to a couple of fundamentals-based pumps, right? But I think the handle is quite clear. And we as well see a violent breakout to the top. If I delete here this bull flag for you, well, you see that you had a violent breakout of the handle. And guys, this is now the crazy part. Let's connect the dots and let's come up with a price target for this pattern. And guys, this price target is actually crazy. So I wouldn't recommend basing any trades on this price target. Just take it as a very, very, very bullish long-term sign in the charts. Well, now we have our price target right from the top of the cup to the bottom of the cup. And I'm going to need to move the graph a little bit. But if we move this out to the very edge here where the top of the cup meets the handle, let me just put it in the middle, all right? Because we don't need to be too exact here. This would bring us all the way up to 2.95 US dollars. And guys, let me as well grab the Fibonacci's and let's see if that's in confluence with anything. But I need to zoom in once again. All right, adjusted properly. And let's then zoom in again and zoom out on the Y-axis. Well, this is an almost perfect confluence with the 3.27 Fibonacci zone. So guys, I think that there is confluence here, and in the very long term, the chart does look like we might be going all the way up to this price level if we have a continuation of the bull run overall in the crypto markets. And I do think that that is actually the most likely situation. We've only had a momentary dip here, and anyone who's been in the game for a long time knows that these dips are very usual and very to be expected, especially for altcoins, which Cardano still is. It's extremely volatile. So to have these huge swings of like almost 50% is quite normal and to be expected. So let's move on to Ethereum and Bitcoin. On Ethereum, we had as well this cup and handle pattern, which you're going to see as well in the Bitcoin in a moment. Well, we had this cup and handle pattern here. And guys, I found something in the Ethereum chart, so stay with me here. And this gave us a crazy price target of 2,500. Well, if you look further on the pattern, we had the breakout. However, we did not go back to test the breakout. We had a little bit of a pump here, but it failed to go back to the levels and went down. So this pattern, I would say, is more or less invalidated by now. We might still be able to recover here if it really takes off, but then you're kind of drawing a bigger handle, and at that point you're really pushing it. So let me show you guys what I found now, and let me just delete some stuff and draw it quickly. We have here actually a head and shoulders pattern forming, and it's actually quite a strong one. I can see it tracking quite well the head and shoulders pattern. And if you were to draw a breakout for this from the head to the bottom of the pattern and predict that it's going to break out, because you're waiting for it to bounce off of this line, and it'll most likely do that sometime around here. Well, this is going to bring us back near to the all-time high at a price point of around 1,935 US dollars. And if it were to go that far, I do think that the price range of 2,000 is in the mirror and is as well right in confluence with where it peaked a couple of days ago. So I do believe that this is quite a likely situation. So guys, if you're on Ethereum, we need to wait for this head and shoulders pattern to finish manifesting. We need to see it either break up and retest the resistance line and then go further, or it can break down and keep going down as well with the retest and go further. And in the unlikely scenario that it were to break down, well, that's going to bring us back down to around the $1,476 mark. Now, I think this is relatively unlikely, seeing as a lot of bull patterns are forming in the charts for now. So without further ado, let's move on to Bitcoin. So guys, on Bitcoin, we had this cup and handle pattern, and we had to redraw it a couple of times towards the top. First, we had this as the handle, then we had this as the handle, then we had this as the handle, although I do believe this was the real end of the cup and handle pattern. As you see, we had a pretty good breakout, and this is actually the one that I was predicting and where I opened a trade, and near the all-time high, we saw that there were a bunch of reasons, which I'm not going to get into now. You can check the old videos on the channel, and we actually closed the trade as we were coming back down because we had a bunch of bearish signals flashing. So on the way down, we took whatever profits we had, we closed our trade because we knew that the charts were telling us our price target for the cup and handle pattern was not going to happen. So guys, right now, I believe that we see a couple of things on the chart. First of all, we appear to have W'd out here, right? So we had a pretty nice W pattern forming, and if you take then the price target from the top of the W pattern, which is about here, all the way down, and actually I see this red wick is the bottom wick, well, this would have broken out right approximately here and taken us to about the 61,000 US dollar mark, whereas we only went to about the 60,000. Now, that is a shame, but we are getting quite close to these price targets again, which is a pretty decent sign on the charts. And you might have seen that I already drew it. Well, right now, I didn't call this pattern out because I'm being cautious, right? When we have a huge bearish dump, we really need to be careful and make sure that we have really started to break out. And guys, what does Bitcoin like to do? Well, it likes to dump down and W out and then continue going straight to the moon. So while I personally am a little bit cautious right now, and I'm sitting on the sidelines because I only want to hit the perfect trade, because then even the perfect trade has a tendency to not play out exactly as predicted? Well, let me remove this, and we have a very nice pendant flag pattern forming. And as you can see here, I drew this pole from the bottom to the top with a really nice little flag banner here. And if we take the price target from the breakout, well, this is going to bring us all the way back to about 63,000 US dollars, as you can see here. Now, I would still not trade this because I'm waiting for a couple of more signs to come out and a bit more confluence. But if we do take the Fibonacci's, which is always a good idea to check if your price target has a little bit more of confluence from the swing high to the swing low, which is here at the bottom of that W's wick, and I just extend it out for a little bit. Well, we see here that this isn't really falling within any Fibonacci level. So like I said, guys, I'm still waiting for much more confluence before I'm comfortable enough opening a trade, but it does seem that we are having a reversal of the bear pattern that we were in a couple of days ago. And I do believe that the most likely situation is that we're going to keep going up, in which case we do have a potential price gain of about, let me show you what this trade would give you. Well, that's about 5%, which if you leverage nicely, that's still quite nice. However, I personally will not be taking this trade. And just as a summary on Cardano, we're predicting going close to the $3 level in the very, very, very long term, which would be a massive pump of almost, let's see just how much this is. Well, this would be 130% from where we are right now. And that, if you even leverage that a little bit, that's going to be an insane gain. So let's go to Ethereum. And on Ethereum, if this head and shoulders pattern does break towards the upside, well, we are predicting something like, let's see, well, this is approximately a 14% move, which is still very, very nice. And this might be one that I'm considering trading. However, please always be extremely careful with Cardano and Ethereum because these altcoins love to punish you. As long as it's not Bitcoin, it is really dangerous to try to trade these patterns. So thank you so much for watching. Please smash up that like button if you found this useful. And guys, if you want to use my reference code down below in case you do want to take any of these trades, which I don't recommend, but if you want to open the account to get the free bonus, then please go ahead and do that. Thank you guys for watching. If you got smarter, please hit that subscribe button and share this video and like it so YouTube knows it's a good video. Bye!